We usually think of kindness as just the simple virtue, right? A nice thing to do. But what if I told you it was also a biological command, a hidden superpower that literally protects your heart and can even slow down the aging process? Today, we're diving into the profound and often totally unseen science of everyday heroism.
So, just for a second, picture a hero. What comes to mind? Are you seeing someone in a cape, maybe pulling off some daring rescue against impossible odds? Yeah, that's the story we're usually sold. But the reality? Well, the reality is something much, much closer to home. And as it turns out, it's way more powerful.
To get us started, let's look at a hero who absolutely fits that big, cinematic mold. His name was Nicholas Winton, and for half a century, his unbelievable story was a secret, just hidden away in an attic.
Okay, so picture this. It's 1939, right on the brink of World War II. Winton, who was a British stockbroker at the time, organized 8 trains to get children, most of them Jewish, out of Prague and into the safety of London. I mean, just a monumental act of courage. But then, the war just swallowed everything, and for almost 50 years, the story was basically forgotten. Until 1988, when his wife stumbles upon this old scrapbook, filled with the names and photos of every child he saved.
669. Just let that number sink in for a minute. That's not just a statistic. That's 669 lives. 669 families that exist today, all because one person made a heroic choice.
And this all led to one of the most incredible moments. Winton was invited onto a show, and after the host described what he'd done, she turned to the audience and asked that question: is there anyone in the audience today who owes their life to Nicholas Winton? And in response, the entire studio audience, all of them, the children he had saved, now grown up, they all stand. Winton just looks around, completely stunned, surrounded by the living, breathing legacy of his kindness. It's unbelievable.
Now look, Nicholas Winton is, without a doubt, a hero on a grand scale. But his story makes you wonder, right? Is that the only kind of heroism that really counts? The sources we're digging into today argue that no, we need to completely redefine what a hero is.
So we've got these two ideas. On one hand, there's the myth. It's all about capes and crises, these extraordinary moments of bravery. But the reality is, it's about kindness and connection. It's about all those seemingly small, everyday acts that don't make headlines, but are in fact the very stitches holding the fabric of our society together.
And this is what those stitches look like in real life. It's comforting a child. It's actually listening when a friend needs to talk. It's that reassuring smile you give a stranger. It's the parent working 2 jobs just to give their kids a shot. These are the quiet, unsung acts of heroism that happen all around us, every single day.
This quote just nails it, and it's the perfect bridge to what's next. The author tells this personal story about his own mother, caring for his father who was terminally ill. And he saw her tireless, selfless work not as a burden, but as this profound form of heroism that was rooted in empathy. And here's where it gets really mind-blowing. That empathy, it isn't just a feeling. It is a biological event.
So how in the world does this work on a biological level? Well, it turns out our bodies have this incredible built-in reward system. When we act with kindness, when we feel empathy, our biology literally celebrates it with a whole cascade of amazing positive effects.
All right, meet the star of the show, oxytocin. You've probably heard it called the love hormone, but the source material gives it an even better name, the heroism hormone. Sure, it's released during social bonding, but get this, it's also powerfully cardioprotective. That means it literally guards your heart by fighting off inflammation and cell damage.
So how does this actually happen? It's this awesome chain reaction. First, an act of kindness happens. That triggers your brain to release oxytocin. Then, oxytocin taps its work buddy, nitric oxide, on the shoulder. This molecule is a natural relaxant for your blood vessels. As they open up and relax, your blood pressure goes down and your heart gets a layer of protection. It's the real science behind why a good hug can literally lower your blood pressure.
Oxytocin is also a serious antioxidant, and I love this analogy for explaining it. Think of free radicals, the things that cause cell damage and aging, as atoms that just hate being single. They're frantically running around your body trying to steal a partner from other stable molecules, which causes total chaos. Well, antioxidants, like our hero oxytocin, are willing partners. They just swoop in, pair up with those lonely free radicals, and calm everything down. And there's another hero in this biological story, the vagus nerve. You can think of it as a superhighway connecting your brain to your heart, your lungs, your gut, all the big players. It runs your rest and digest system and is super involved with empathy. You know that warm feeling you get in your chest when you see an act of compassion? That's your vagus nerve lighting up, sending a signal to your whole body that it's safe to connect.
So, the takeaway here is that these aren't just fleeting, feel-good moments. The effects of kindness and social support are real, they're measurable, and they have serious long-term health benefits. Kindness isn't just a nice-to-have, it's a daily superpower for your own well-being.
But you might be asking, is there actual proof?
You bet there is. There was a program called AIM, and it was designed to give young people a strong support system built on, you guessed it, kindness and connection. And researchers wanted to know, does all this emotional support have a real physical impact?
So they looked at something called telomeres. These are the little protective caps on the ends of our DNA, and they naturally get shorter as we age. After 5 years, the teens in that supportive AIM program had significantly longer telomeres than the other group. Let me say that again. An environment of kindness was literally making them biologically younger. How wild is that?
And this isn't just about human-to-human kindness. Bonding with a pet also floods your system with oxytocin. And the result? One incredible study found that dog owners who've had a heart attack have a 400%, that's 400%, lower risk of having a second one within a year. That's the power of that human-animal bond in action.
So here's the bottom line. We are kind because it's the right thing to do. We help each other because we're empathetic beings. But as a fantastic bonus, nature has baked in a powerful reward for doing it. It's like nature's reward for just being a decent person. And when you think about it, maybe it's not a coincidence that a man like Nicholas Winton, whose life was defined by one of the greatest acts of empathy in modern history, lived to be 106 years old. Every act of kindness is also an act of self-care, right down to the cellular level. Which brings us right back to our original question. A hero doesn't need a cape, they don't need a crisis. A hero can be any one of us who chooses connection over indifference, who chooses empathy over apathy. The power to protect someone's heart, to ease a burden, and to literally make the world a healthier, better place is in all of us. So the only question left is, who will you be a hero for today?